Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Andre Powell, and I will be one of the members that are going to be leading you through this information session this evening. Let me first express sincere gratitude to everyone for being here this evening. Vector has now developed as a part of its marketing efforts these information sessions to give prospective students as well as or present students who wishes to further their studies or take on any other professional certifications or to upgrade their academic studies. So we put together these information sessions to provide much needed information, in-depth information about whether it is or existing courses as well as new courses. Now, in recent times, Vector has been enlisted as a VMware Academy. So we're now a VMware partner. And as such, we have begun to start putting together the certificate or the certification for the VMware Certified Professional, right? And at this point in time, this is what this information session is about, providing you with information, in-depth information about the course, how is it that you can get VMware certified and making the connection with the industry. So let me use this opportunity once more to acknowledge our members of faculty that are here with us. Mr. Brown will be our main speaker, or will be the keynote speaker for this evening. Mr. Davidson, who is also a proponent of the discipline, as well as other members of staff or currently enrolled students and prospective students. So without any further ado, we're not expecting this information session to be an extensive one, considering that this is only centered around this one particular program or course. So what I'm going to ask at this moment is for Miss Diebel to provide us with an introduction for Mr. Brown, who is going to be our key speaker, and we're just going to get straight into it.
Okay, thank you, Andre. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this information session. Again, we appreciate you taking the time to be a part of it, and we won't take up too much of your time. So we're going to just dive straight into the session. But before we begin, allow me to introduce our main speaker for the evening, Mr. Lloyd Brown. Mr. Brown holds an engineering degree from University of Technology, Jamaica, and has held certifications such as A+, Network Plus, Linux Plus, CCNA, Security Plus, Cisco, CyberOps, and CYSA Plus. He also holds an international diploma in teaching and training. Mr. Brown is an expert in the area of telecommunications and contributed to the industry through his tenure with the Jamaica Telephone Company Limited, now Flow. He served in several capacities, including training officer and manager of technical training for all 14 Caribbean territories in which Lime operated. Mr. Brown is currently the managing director of JBL Telecommunications and Information Technology Institute, a company that offers consulting and training services in the areas of telecommunications and information technology. Mr. Brown has been an instructor with Vector Technology Institute since 2008 and is the head of department for the network infrastructure and cybersecurity programs. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lloyd Brown.
Thank you, Ms. Diebel. Good evening, everyone. I trust everyone is seeing my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so this evening we'll be talking about the VMware course offering in our information session. I want to start by introducing the company, VMware, and then move into additional information about the course and the certification. So VMware as a company started back in 1998 and today is a leading provider in the virtualization solutions in the ICT industry. It's important to note that VMware is strictly a software company. They do not make devices or servers. They're strictly software. And they operate in the areas of data center, security, networking, and end user computing. VMware operates across many regions of the world, and I've listed here a few companies in, well, not just the companies, but countries where VMware operate. This is by no means a complete list, just a few of the countries in which VMware operates. So as you see here, we have the United States and around 28,000 companies in the United States are using the VMware solution. And the United States is the major country in which VMware is being used. But as you see, there are a number of other countries where VMware is being used. VMware has an IT Academy. The IT Academy is the place where partners of VMware or academic partners of VMware are able to access training courses and the content to be able to deliver to students. Vector is a member of the VMware Academy partners, and hence we're able to offer VMware certification courses. The VMware certifications target a particular product from VMware, which is the VMware vSphere ESXi, and the vCenter server, which is used to provide management of the solution. So we have indicated that the company is VMware and where they operate, and that they're a software company. But one of the underlying things about VMware is the concept of virtualization. It is virtualization that is used to be able to deliver the solutions that VMware provides. So it's important for us to get a quick peek into what exactly is virtualization. But to do that, let's start from what existed before virtualization. And so we'll take a look at the traditional computer or server model. Before virtualization, one computer had just a single operating system. The operating system had direct access to hardware resources, and all applications communicate directly with the operating system. Of course, this served us well. However, as the number of computers and the number of servers within organizations grow, there started to appear a couple of challenges. And of course, one of the challenges is the one computer, one operating system. Computers being used by individuals and also servers very often has the need to run multiple applications. Some applications need to run on different operating systems. And so having a computer or server that has just a single operating system poses challenges. In some cases, a server or an individual computer being used by an employee has far more resources than the server is able to use or the individual is able to use. And so in that case, the resource is wasted. Virtualization is able to solve that problem. One thing that was done in order to get around the concept of one computer, one operating system is organizations deployed larger number of computers and larger number of servers within their environment. However, this poses a problem of increased space usage and also increased energy usage. This is also a challenge that VMware is able to solve. So the new model where VMware virtualization is being used. So the virtualization is achieved through a special software that is called a hypervisor. This hypervisor is used to allow multiple operating systems to be deployed on a single device. By doing that, each operating system can operate as a computer, and that computer then can be allocated the exact amount of resources that is needed. Using virtualizations mean having one server that can hold multiple operating systems. Therefore, since we're using one server, we're now making better use of the space. So we have better space management. Again, it's a single server and therefore better lower energy consumption is achieved. So virtualization gets us to the point where we now have the single computer using multiple operating systems, and no single operating system is able to use the entire CPU resource. And also, no single operating system is able to use the entire memory resource. So the memory and the CPU and other resources of the computer is distributed across the various operating systems that are installed on the server. Of course, VMware is not the only organization that is using virtualization or using hypervisors. There are other companies such as Oracle, Citrix, Red Hat, Microsoft, and Amazon. And this number is by no means the complete list. However, we will be focusing on the solutions provided by VMware. So the hypervisors provided by VMware are VMware Workstation Player. This solution is free, so anyone can use this. However, it is not at the stage where it can be used for corporate deployment. So this is typically for a single user wanting to experience the virtualization concept. There's also VMware Workstation Pro. VMware Workstation Pro is also used for a single device, and there's VMware Workstation Fusion. The first two mentioned are used on Windows, in the Windows environment, and VMware Workstation Fusion is used in the Mac OS environment. You might notice I have the VMware vSphere ESXi with vCenter Server colored differently. The reason for that is this is the one we will be talking about during this session. So the VMware vSphere ESXi with the vCenter servers typically deployed in corporations and also telecommunications service providers. These are deployed on high capacity servers, and you're unlikely to find these on individual computers being used by single employees. The organizations that use VMware vSphere ESXi will deploy these on a single physical server, and then that single physical server is able to run multiple operating systems. And of course, each operating system now becomes a server in its own right. So we may have one physical device which is running multiple operating systems and therefore acting as multiple servers. These operating systems can be Linux, Windows, Mac OS. So it doesn't have to be the same operating system being repeated multiple times on that server. Right, so that is the concept of virtualization. So next we want to talk about the certifications offered by VMware. So VMware has 6 certification tracks. The tracks, as you see listed here, data center virtualization, security, end user computing, cloud management and automation, network virtualization, and application modernization. The course and the certification being targeted by Vector is the data center virtualization. Each track is divided into 4 levels. So some of us may be familiar with the Cisco certifications and the levels that exist within the Cisco certification, where you have CCNA at the associate level, and then the CCNP at the professional level. The levels in VMware certifications are arranged similarly. So there at the lowest level, we have the VMware Certified Technical Associate. And then above that, we have the professional level, which is the VMware Certified Professionals, and then the VMware Certified Advanced Professionals, and VMware Certified Design Experts. Below each level, I have listed the roles that persons holding these certifications would operate in. So for the VMware Certified Technical Associate, persons holding this certification are operators. So they are not carrying out the higher level technical functions, but they do have some technical knowledge and maybe operating in roles such as sales or pre-sales engineering, areas where persons, the technical information is useful, but is not necessarily being used in the day-to-day work activity. And then the VMware Certified Professional is where the individuals or persons in roles using these certifications are on a daily basis implementing the skills from the VMware certification that they have achieved. So we're looking at administrators and the engineers. The advanced professionals are operating at higher levels. So from the administrators up to architects and engineers. And then the last one, the design expert, these are roles that are in the realm of architects. So this is just another view of the VMware certification levels. As you see, most of them are paled, and the one that is prominent is the VMware Certified Professional, which is the one being targeted by Vector. VMware has a particular naming convention for its certifications. The certification, for example, the data center virtualization, the VCP tells the level at which the certification exists, and then followed by a dash and the area in which the certification exists. So a level, then area or track. So we have VCP-DCV, and this is the particular certification that Vector will be offering the course on. So I've listed a couple others here. The VCTA-DCV, which is the VMware Certified Technical Associate, and the -DCV, Data Center Virtualization. So they all follow that same naming convention. This is repeated for emphasis. As you see, I have encircled here the VMware Certified Professional and the roles of the personnel that would be needing such certification. This level is designed for IT professionals who install, configure, manage, and optimize VMware solutions. All right, so having gone through that, now we can take a look at how to become certified. So I've taken screenshots from the VMware website. So we know this is the official information from VMware as to the process to achieve certification. So it's a three-step process. Step one is to gain experience on the VMware vSphere version 7 or version 8. So their product is currently at version 8, and the previous version is version 7. As you see, step one is recommended. So where persons have the opportunity to work in the area prior to attending any training courses, then that is something that is recommended. The VMware vSphere software can also be downloaded free of cost, and for testing, of course, not to be used in a commercial environment. And so where one has the ability to set up a lab, then one would is able to do that and gain experience on using the software. Now, in order to become certified, it is mandatory that one attends a training course. So that is step two, attend one of the required training courses. And step three is to pass one of the qualified exams or qualifying exams. So I will delve into a little more detail on step 2 and 3. So here is step 2. So in terms of the courses that one is able to use to prepare for the VMware the certification, and in this case, we're looking at the VCP DCV, which is VMware Certified Professional Data Center Virtualization. So we have the version 8 courses or the version 7 courses. And those are the ones that are recommended by VMware. There are 2 courses, the install, configure, and manage, and then the operate, scale, and optimize. The install, configure, and manage is the first course in the list. And having completed that course, then one is able to attend the operate, scale, and secure. However, VMware does not mandate one needing to take both courses. So any one course will suffice for the certification. The course that Vector is offering is the install, configure, and manage at the version 8 level. So this now is the detail on step 3, which is to pass one of the required exams. VMware has 2 exams, one for the version 7, one for the version 8. As you would see here, the version 7 course, sorry, not course, certification is retiring this month. So anyone thinking of taking that would need to be on a rapid trajectory to be able to complete a course and also the studying to be able to take that exam. Of course, the version 8 would give one more time to prepare. So the version 8 certification is the 2V0-21.23. VMware labels their certification based on the year. So the .23 year is 2023, and the 20 here is 2020, the year when the certification was first introduced. As you see, the cost of the certification is $250. And for both certifications, it's 70 questions with 135 minutes. All right, so now we have seen the certification that is available and the course that is available. So the question now is VMware certification the right thing for you? Right? To be able to answer that, we will take a look at where exactly is VMware being used, as in what companies are using VMware. Right? Well, I've started here by, and this again is a screenshot from the VMware website. They detail here the role that persons would be in that would require VMware, this particular VMware certification. And if I just jump to the very last sentence here, it says job roles associated with this certification include virtualization administrators, system engineers, and consultants. So if you are in one of those roles or aspiring to one of those roles, then this certification is for you. Now, this diagram here is from, I've pulled this from Kevin Wallace's training program. Those who are involved in CCNA or Cisco Learning might know of Kevin Wallace. Here he has demonstrated the Cisco Unified Communication Manager and its deployment using VMware. Now, a couple of things to note here is how VMware can be used to through its virtualization to create solutions that we are already accustomed to, but they are all done within software. So for example, the switch here is simply a software construct through VMware. So VMware software creates this switch. It is not a physical device. The same here. This is a switch created by the VMware software, and it carries out the same functions as switches that we would have been operating on and with in our environments, these physical devices where we are able to connect multiple cables, but we can have that operating strictly through software. In addition, the router here is a Cisco 1000V router, and the V at the end there means virtual. So this is a router that is implemented strictly in software. The VMware solution allows for a software to be installed, and that software carries out all the functions of a normal router and has the same commands as what you would see on a Cisco physical device. Over here is another VMware software construct, which we would call a virtual machine. This is actually the server that will be running the Cisco Unified Communication Manager. Cisco Unified Communication Manager is a voice collaboration device. This allows for organizations to set up their business telephone systems where they're able to make internal calls and external calls, receive calls from external. The entire telephony system of an organization is driven by this software, and it is installed within VMware vSphere. This one here is the Cisco Unified Connection, which is used for the voicemail within an organization. Again, is a software construct to achieve voicemail solutions. And all of this is installed within VMware. Here we have the instant messaging and presence server. So this allows for, and if you think of using a tool like WhatsApp, where you can set your status messages, so someone can see if you're available, if you're not available, and so on. This device here does that, but it does it for business telephony. And this is also a software construct that is done within VMware. Now, this one is something that is non-Cisco. This is Microsoft Active Directory. So a Microsoft server could be installed within VMware, and this provides the Active Directory, DNS, and DHCP services. So as you see, we've seen just from this slide here, switches, routers, servers, voice platform solution that can be deployed within VMware. It means that if we are thinking of someone operating as a Microsoft server administrator, such a role is likely to interact with VMware solutions, and therefore a VMware certification would be helpful. If you're thinking of someone who is acting in the role of a PBX or a business phone system implementer, such a role is likely to interact with VMware virtualization, and the VMware certification would come in handy as well. Right? And of course, in terms of managing Cisco routers. That is also, if someone is in a role that manages and configures Cisco routers, the possibility exists that they may interact with VMware, and therefore VMware certification can be helpful. On this slide, I given my first slide where I looked at voice platforms, I thought of another organization that is huge in the voice deployment, which is Avaya. And so I did a quick internet search, and this is my internet search: Avaya solutions deployed on VMware. And as you see, my first three hits from Bing, Avaya Aura application enablement services using VMware, deploying Avaya diagnostic server using VMware, and Avaya Aura call center elite multi-channel using VMware. So this is another huge organization that is deploying their services on VMware. So if you're in a role or aspiring to be in a role where you deploy telephony systems, then VMware is something you might interact with as well. On this slide, I took a different route. So I wanted to see what are the jobs that are currently open for persons who may have VMware certifications or VMware skill set. So I went to Indeed.com, which is an organization where job postings are made. And as you see here, we have an open role for senior VMware engineer and a server/VMware engineer, another one listed, server/VMware engineer, and senior VMware cloud engineer. Now, granted, all of these are outside of Jamaica. They're in the United States. It's not as publicized in Jamaica on websites where we find the job offerings. But from my own experience, I've seen a number of organizations using VMware virtualization, and this ranges from insurance companies, banks, and telecommunications companies. So VMware is very entrenched in the marketplace, and it's hardly going to be the case where you are in IT and not to see VMware solutions being deployed. Therefore, having VMware certifications and VMware skill set will assist you and enhance your capabilities. Right, and I see Oscar Carr indicating there that call centers are using VMware as well. Right, so VMware is well entrenched, and it's in the marketplace. So having this certification can be very helpful to anyone operating in the IT environment. Right, so this is actually my last slide. So I believe Mr. Powell will be having a open mic where we can ask questions, or maybe submitted via the chat.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you. All right, so what I'm going to do is maybe just entertain a few questions from the audience, and then what I'm going to do is just break the questions for a little bit, and I'm going to ask Miss Monisha Duncan, to just basically present the requirements, or what is it that you need in order to be able to register for the course here at Vector, right? So so are there any questions Any questions from the audience? Important to note as well, just before the session is being recorded and will be made available to you through our different platforms. So whether it is we post it on our Facebook page, or as a matter of fact, you'll be getting a survey, a follow-up survey, maybe during the course of the day tomorrow, just to answer a few questions, just to see exactly the effectiveness of the session. Along with that survey, we will send over a link for the recording as well, so that you can have it for future reference in your decision making, whether it is that you want to go ahead and sign up for the course. So any questions? Any questions from the audience?
Does the VMware hardware does it enhance the computer with a longer lifespan? Just like how the regular laptops will give us like maybe 10 years of service before it shuts down or malfunction.
Right. No, so the VMware does not impact the lifespan of the device. What it does is increases the capability of the device. So if you are thinking of an individual computer, not a server, then for example, you may be able to, if you have, let's say it's a Windows computer, but you have some applications that can only be installed and run on Linux, then you could use VMware virtualization to create a separate operating system on your computer where you could install the Linux operating system and run those other applications. So your Windows computer now has that added capability of being able to deploy applications that operate on different operating systems, but it does not impact the lifespan.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Okay, thank you for that question. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Okay, even everyone.
Yes, Travis.
Okay, so my question, similar to Windows, or just like Windows, can utilize multiple hard drives and utilize it in a way that we can form a RAID. Can the VMware utilizes the same, or utilizes multiple hard drive in a similar manner?
Yes, it can. In fact, VMware solution goes further than just using multiple hard drive in the form of RAID. So there are several storage mechanism or methodology, such as a SAN, a storage area network, or iSCSI, and the VMware does support those storage mechanisms as well as RAID.
All right.
Okay, and that's a form of fault tolerance, etc., right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I see the point being backed up by Mr. Spence Franklin, speaking to the distribution across network. Redundancy is a key feature. So vMotion is a big feature of VMware is pointing out.
Right. And just to piggyback on that, the vMotion is it allows, let's say for example, we have a server in Kingston and another server in Montego Bay. And these are virtual servers. And for some reason, the environment in Kingston is going offline. vMotion allows for that virtual server that is in Kingston to be moved to Montego Bay within seconds. And so maintains the redundancy without having to physically move anything from one location to the other.
All right, great. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Any other question? You could maybe just open your mic a little bit and then you can pitch your questions.
Should I go ahead?
Yes, go, it's Venetia or Venetia? Venetia Burke or
Yeah.
Venetia? Okay, Venetia Burke, go ahead.
Is it a certificate that you have to constantly renew?
Yes, so certifications in general has typically a 3-year time period before you'd need to do recertification, and VMware falls within the same pattern. So you will need to recertify once the current certification is expiring.
All right, I notice for the most part, whenever time we have any sort of forum speaking about professional certifications, that's usually a key question that is asked. Now, this whole idea of a lifelong certification, it's somewhat something of the past, why? For obvious reasons, because the rate at which technology is evolving on a daily basis, you know, it doesn't serves very well for a professional within the IT field to have something like that, because they know the discipline that goes with ensuring that you constantly update yourself, your knowledge, and your credential. You know, that becomes very critical. So if you find a certification body that is offering up a lifelong certification, it may be just on an introductory basis that won't last for a whole long a long time. So it's a feature that has been done with for a little bit now for most certification bodies. All right, because as you can see, even the fact that the different versions for these exams, look at VMware. So the last update was well, the one that is now being retired, that one was introduced back in 2020, and here comes version 8 that was released last year. So of course you would just imagine that there are new features and new mechanisms and stuff that are now included, and to kind of widen the range in terms of the effective use of these not only software but also other facets of IT, then, so to speak. Right? Any other question? I'll just take one question and then I'm just gonna ask Miss Duncan to go ahead and put together or present the requirements for entry. Any other question? I'll take one more right now and then the presentation by Miss Duncan, and then we take some more. Okay. All right. So while you gather your thoughts, I'm going to ask Miss Duncan to go ahead with the presentation for the requirements for entry. All right, or for registration, registering for the program.
Okay. Should I close my share at this point?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, you can go ahead. Yes.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name, as mentioned earlier, is Monisha Duncan, and I'm the QA officer here at Vector. Now, as you can see on the screen, I'll be providing you with a bit of information as it relates to entry requirements to start the VMware Certified Professional Certificate here at Vector. Now, Mr. Brown would have presented quite a bit of necessary information for you to gauge yourself as to whether, and he did ask, is this course for me? Now, if it is that you find that the answer to that question is yes, you have made a decision that you want to pursue it. You already know that we offer it here at Vector. So the next thing is, how do I get started? Now, Vector has two categories in which candidates can enter to pursue the course, and they are the full status, which here is referred to as the academic qualification, and the mature status, which is the alternative qualification route. For the full status route, the candidate is required to have a certificate, diploma, or degree in IT or engineering. Now, of course, the alternative is for those persons who may not have yet gotten any certification, any physical certification in the industry that they're working. And as such, the alternative qualification route, which is the mature status, will allow persons to gain entry to the program through their prior IT skills and knowledge, which they would have acquired through their work experience, the job responsibilities that they do, technical qualifications that they would have garnered through their work experience, and their technical competencies. Now, the documentation that one would need to pursue the alternative qualification route would be submitting an updated resume. This will validate or should validate that you have a minimum of 2 years of work experience in the field, as well as a job description letter that specifies your responsibilities and your roles on a day-to-day basis, excuse me, that will highlight and acknowledge your IT skills and knowledge for you to matriculate into the course. Now, the documentation to follow up with the full status or the mature status, first you need to complete an application form, which is mandatory with any program that you'll be doing. You need to present us with a valid government issued ID, proof of your qualifications if it is that you will be applying via the full status or the academic status. We would require that you provide us with the actual or the physical copies of the qualifications so that we can verify, as well as 2 passport size photos and a registration fee of $1,800. Now, the duration of the course is approximately 10 weeks, and the classes will be offered on Fridays and Saturdays online. And the course, the class times for the program would be for Friday, it would be in the evening. The current time offering is from 6 to 9, and for Saturdays, it would be at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The registration fee would be $1,800, and the course fee itself is $65,000. Now, this fee, we give you the option to make payments for the fee in 2 installments. Now, I think earlier Mr. Brown had showed you the fee for the international certification, which is the US $250. Please note that this is not included in the program fee that I just mentioned. All right. For the earlier, I think Miss Burke had made mention as to whether the certification would be renewable. There's just one little point that I'd like to highlight. Mr. Brown may not be aware, but a couple of years ago, VMware had actually introduced a policy whereby they call it the VMware recertification rollback, wherein they kind of, as it says, roll back the mandate for persons to renew their certification every 3 years. Albeit they are aware that, you know, for you to remain constant in the field of technology, you need to up your skills and remain relevant and current with the new technology offering. But their reason for introducing this recertification rollback is that it is possible that the entity that you work for may not be so pressed for time in introducing a new version of the VMware software. It may be, maybe too expensive or whatever the case may be. So the reason VMware introduced the recertification rollback was for, as well as this purpose, as well as to give persons who will be pursuing the certification the flexibility to opt out of recertifying every 3 years. Now, one of the tricks is in terms of if you do want to recertify, you would have to recertify within 3 different installments of the last certification. So the introduction of the latest version V8, if it is that you want to remain current and not start the whole process over, you would have to ensure that once you seek the VM8 version for this certification, the next installment that you would possibly need to do would be the version, say, 11. So that would be 3 installments after the certification that you currently have. Now, they do have the policy itself available on their website that you can go through to get any further details as regards to this recertification rollback. But it is a thing that they actually introduce for persons who may not want to go through each iteration of the updated version of their course offering. All right. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
Andre,
you.
over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Duncan. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So we continue to open the floor. We really wanted this session to be kept within the 1 hour mark. I think we're on point so far. Any questions? Any additional questions, whether it is for Mr. Brown, or for Ms. Duncan?
Is it
Okay, go ahead.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
I'll take Anif first.
Hello, you hearing me?
Yes, hearing you, yes.
All right, just one quick question. Nothing for the Sabbath, man. Notice that the days them are Saturday and Sunday, Friday and Saturday.
All right, but Anif, so let me explain. So I mean, usually when we schedule a course, we look at instructors availability as well as course scheduling and so on. But the great thing about it, since we have started to go online, basically 90 to 95%, right? We record the classes, so every class sessions are being recorded. So if it's a case where you're not able to meet up live, then the recordings are always there. They're not edited, they're not nothing, just as is, as how it was taught in there. And of course, if there's a case where in the midst of you watching the recordings or anything like that, and you would like to reach out to the instructor, then the contact is always made available to the to the students to reach out for any additional assistance or so on. But unfortunately, in terms of singling out for like the Sabbath people, as you said, that's basically what we are working with right now.
Okay, I didn't get the last part because I got a call a while ago, but I kind of get the drift of what you're saying.
Yeah, man, the classes are recorded, so you can always you see the great thing about online classes, it's not really localized to any specific time. You're always online. You always have things to do. So I mean, like, you can watch the recordings. Class work might be left for you guys to do and so on. So it can still be very engaging. It's just a matter of if it's a case where in the midst of you going through the recording, as I mentioned earlier, if there's something that you're not clear about and so on, then feel free to reach out to the instructor.
Okay, thank you.
All right, cool. There was someone else that was basically in the runnings with the Walker. Yeah,
Yeah, that
Chubby.
will be me. Yes,
Chubby.
what you explained a while ago answered a part of my question. Another part of it is after we finish the course by Vector, the final exam, will it be local or would I have to travel overseas to the real exam?
All right, so and you're talking about the certification exam, right?
Yes, that's right.
So in addition to us being a VMware Academy, I'm not sure if most of you guys know, as students or as prospective students, Vector is actually also a test center. We are a test center, so at any moment's notice that you want to go ahead and to do the certification, you can book the certification through VMware or whichever platform that will offer the certification that you'd pay for it. We ourselves, you can book it through us. And of course, the test center, us being a test center, will actually indicate to you which day you can actually come in and do the exam. So we're a Pearson View test center.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, man.
Okay, cool, no problem.
Yeah. Any other question?
Or will the course be offered in the summer?
If the course will be offered in summer?
Yeah.
All right, so right now, so we have a date slated for this month, the end of month. I think it's the 26th, if my memory serves me right. Usually, as if you follow carefully with Vector, we don't usually offer like a course like for one time for the year or something like that. So if you miss out on maybe this run of it, then of course I'm sure somewhere in the near future you'll see it again, right? But right now we're running with the January start date, which is January 26th, if my memory serves me right. All right. So if there are no other questions, just key to remember, I know at this point in time, everybody is really and truly fighting the financial situation and so on. Please, the facilities are there that you can actually go and seek out from us to pay for the course in installments and so on that you can manage. And you can always come in and speak to us. You can always come in and speak to us, and we'll tailor something for you. All right. One more thrust for questions. Any questions? Any further questions? Okay. All right. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. Go ahead.
Is it okay to finish my my bachelor's degree at the University I'm at now and come to Vector for another certificate in the future?
Yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We are the place of professional certifications, So it don't matter which institution you previously did your academic studies with. All right. So with that said, I want to again express gratitude for your attendance. It was very informative, really and truly, and short and spicy in by any stretch of the imagination. Right. So thank you guys. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to see some persons out to come and register. And just understand the one of the main premise of virtualization is to really and truly be the flexibility that it brings and the ability for you to manage your resources in terms of even the cost that is involved. You understand? So it's something that if you want, you can always go to the VMware website and read a little bit more about virtualization, just to be further adept to what the discipline and to what the software has to offer, and get with it. Get with it. So thank you very much. Again, my name is Andre Powell, and thank you for being here with us this evening. Again, the session has been recorded and it will be made available to you. All right. So you can look out for that. All right. So thank you very much, and you enjoy the rest of your evening, and looking forward to having some partnership in the future. Thank you.
Work with this thing about God and this thing about